the 17th edition of the Sustainable Fashion Day at Lakme Fashion Week. It's our absolute privilege to have such diverse stakeholders here at Fashion Week. I think this is the first time we would be hosting 40 retail CEOs and decision makers, the chairman of the CMAI, the Honorable Minister of Textiles, the head of the UN in India, key partners like Reliance Industries, the KVIC chairperson is here. We have the lensing team who are showcasing after this. I think this is a true confluence of what we want to stand for in fashion in the country, which is a melting pot of ideas that bring about transformational change. And today is a major step towards that change with the launch of Shaw, which is the first and the largest sustainable initiative taken by the fashion industry in the country. I also want to thank Lakme, our partners. Lakme Fashion Week works because of them. And I think with this initiative, it's just the start point. But we hope that in the next 5 years, this initiative, which gets launched today, leads to millions and millions of garments in the country turning from non-sustainable resources to sustainable resources. Thank you very much for being here, and have a nice evening.
Would now like to request Mr. Rahul Mehta, President of the Clothing Manufacturers Association of India, to give the special address.
Thank you. The apparel industry, products and processes have traditionally been against the best interests of environment and long-term sustainability. The time has come, however, when the industry has to accept its responsibility in transforming itself to play a more responsible, more caring, and more conscious role in shaping tomorrow's world of fashion. The time has come for the industry to pledge to be in the forefront of sustainable and responsible fashion. The Clothing Manufacturers Association of India, or CMAI as it is popularly known, is proud to take the lead in this endeavor, along with IMG Reliance, with support from the United Nations in India and encouragement from the Ministry of Textiles, and be the driving force in this journey of transformation. The travel will be long and challenging, but the destination is clear. Sustainable fashion, which contributes in building a better world for our future generations. And hence the SURE, a sustainable resolution signed by some of the topmost brands, retailers, and corporations as representatives of the entire industry, and in the august presence of our Honorable Minister of Textiles, Srimati Smiti Irani. Ladies and gentlemen, SURE. The resolution that the 16 brands today will be making is we, the pioneering signatories to SURE and members of CMAI, in the presence of Ministry of Textiles and the United Nations in India at Lakme Fashion Week, affirm our commitment on behalf of our companies, organizations, brands to, number one, develop a complete understanding of the environmental impact of the garments being currently produced by our brand. Two, develop a sustainable sourcing policy for consistently utilizing raw materials that have a positive impact on the environment. Three, make the right decisions about how, where, and what we source across the value chain by selecting sustainable and renewable materials and processes and ensuring their traceability. Four, communicate our sustainability initiatives effectively to consumers and media through our online and physical stores, product tags, labels, social media, advertising campaigns, and events. And finally, five, through these actions, shift a significant percentage of our supply chain to a sustainable chain by the year 2025, addressing critical global issues such as climate change, contributing to the Sustainable Development Goals, and building a world that is safe for the future generations as an acceptance of a responsibility we all share. And ladies and gentlemen, as the first small step towards making sustainability chic and fashionable, the industry has agreed to execute a suggestion made by our Honorable Minister just a couple of hours ago to combine the resources of Lakme Fashion Week and the CMAI and have designers design cloth bags for our retail so that customers can carry shopping bags which are not only environmental friendly but also fashionable and may uh, feel oneself proud that he or she is carrying a trendy shopping bag. Thank you, ma'am, for your suggestions. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the first such major initiative that we have taken. I'm proud to be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Would now like to invite our esteemed guest, Ms. Renata Lok, Thessalian, the United Nations Resident Coordinator in India, to honor us with her special message.
Honorable Minister of Textiles, President of the Clothing Manufacturing Association of India, partners with IMG Reliance, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, namaste and a very good evening to all of you. I'd like to start by expressing my warm appreciation for the Minister and the extraordinary effort that's being made to place India's textile industries at the heart of India's development and employment creation in a sustainable manner. I'd like to also extend my warm appreciation to our colleagues and partners at CMAI and IMG Alliance for galvanizing the strength of the fashion industry and bringing it around this sustainable resolution project that's just been described. This is a really special initiative. It's an initiative that generates the kind of joy and excitement that you get when two very dear friends of yours announce that they're going to get married. It's an engagement party. And it's an engagement party of two people that you know deserve to be together and that will result in a marriage made in heaven. The Sustainable Development Goals, and particularly the environment and climate goals, need the fashion industry. And the fashion industry equally needs sustainable development. We're not talking about a small sector. We're talking about a huge industry. Globally, the fashion industry is worth some US $2.5 trillion. So it's big. It affects the environment. It affects hundreds of millions of people. It has a beautiful side, and we've seen that beautiful side all week and continuing the next few days, and especially today at the Sustainable Development Day of Lakme Fashion Week. But it also has a dark side. The carbon footprint of the fashion industry is enormous. Globally, the carbon footprint represents 10% of all global greenhouse gas emissions. That's more than the aviation industry and the transport sector put together. It also produces immense waste. 20% of the water waste of industries in the world is coming from the fashion industry. It produces other forms of waste. 65% of textiles end up in landfills or in the incinerator, and often even before they're ever used. So there's an immense amount to do to make the fashion industry more sustainable. And that's why this project, the Sustainable Resolution Project, is so important. Ladies and gentlemen, like every marriage, this marriage is going to require a lot of effort. On the part of the fashion industry, incremental adjustments just won't be enough. A serious transformation of the industry is needed, a kind of fashion industry 2.0 for people and for planet. The back end of the fashion industry must become as beautiful as the front end. Because as you know so well, our planet is suffering. We're ruining our Mother Earth. We're breathing in toxic particles, ingesting chemicals at a rate that is truly alarming. Not a day goes by before we hear another story of some harrowing aspect of environment pollution. Recently, there's been reports that raindrops in the Arctic are laden with microplastics. We're ruining the earth for ourselves and for our children. That's why the Sustainable Resolution Project is so important. It brings together these 16 major brands to commit to sustainable development objectives. And it'll help them identify gaps, and it'll help them to try to close them. It's a set of concrete targets aligned with the UN Fashion Industry Charter for Climate Action, a commitment to outsource and utilize certified sustainable raw materials by 2025. I'd like to warmly congratulate the 16 brands that have signed up. I understand it represents some 75% of India's apparel industry. That's extremely significant. I'd like to warmly salute those behind the SURE project and to compliment them on their matchmaking. And I'd like to express how proud the UN is to partner in this venture in line with Lakme Fashion Week and the Sustainable Development Day of Lakme Fashion Week, and look forward to deepening our partnership in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. It is our privilege to now invite our distinguished keynote speaker, Srimati Smiti Irani, Ministry of Textiles, Women and Child Development, Government of India, on the stage to address everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a proud Indian, I stand here today to witness history. Never before in a population our size has voluntarily industry, the retail force of India, and those who are known as the fashion elite, along with the government, come together on one platform. I would like to tell the UN that this is not a match made by the ministry. One must credit the industry and Lakme Fashion Week and IMG Reliance and CMAI for coming together voluntarily. That this has happened voluntarily makes me proud as an Indian. Why? Because on the 2nd of October, we shall as a nation step into the 150th year of celebrating the birth of Mahatma Gandhi. And as Gandhi said, not only to every Indian, but the world, be the change you wish to see in the world. And today, the resolution on sustainability is reflective of that very thought of the Mahatma. My grateful thanks to Jaspreet and Gautam for spearheading this particular initiative. The accolades are well deserved and restricted only to the two of you. I do not give this accolade to Rahul Mehta, the president of CMAI, because there is much that I have to extract as minister from him and his organization. So I put him on notice. But on a serious note, ladies and gentlemen, never before have 16 of the biggest brands of our country come together on one platform for saving the earth. We do this as proud Indians. We do this as proud global citizens. My heartiest congratulations. This makes for not only responsible business, but also smart business, because the Sustainability Report 2018 states that sustainability is the fourth criteria for 57% of the consumers of the apparel and design industry. The fact that you not only are showcasing your responsible behavior, but also bettering your intake in terms of your consumers is something that you need to be applauded for. I am grateful that the UN in India is also here tonight to support this endeavor by the fashion industry, along with the retail strength of India. My best wishes and gratitude for this, not marriage, but amalgamation and convergence and confluence, as Jaspreet calls it, of the pure Indian thought that everything we must consume, we consume responsibly. Thank you so much and best wishes.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Can we please invite our 4 dignitaries for a group photo?
If the audience permits, I would like the 16 representatives of that brand to please come on stage. The strength of the industry value of the 16 partners who are part of this resolution, ladies and gentlemen, is close to 30,000 crores. Rahul ji would say 40,000, but then I'm in government, so I'll be a bit conservative. So thank you. And this is the impact that this industry partnership will make, worth 30,000 crore rupees in our country. Thank you so much.
Would now like to request the brand signatories of the pledge to come forward on the stage for the launch of Project Show. Aditya Birla. Bestseller, Mr. Vineet Gautam. Viva, Mr. Siddharth Bindra. FBB, Ms. Manjula Tiwari. House of Anita Dongre, Mr. Mukesh Savlani. Lifestyle and Max, Mr. Vasant Kumar. Levi's. Raymond's, Mr. Gaurav Mahajan. Shopper Stop, Mr. Amitabh Suri. Spiker, Mr. Sanjay Wakharia. Trends, Mr. Vineet Nair. W, Mr. Anand Daga. Westside, Mr. Venu Nair. 109F, Rahul Mehta. We thank all our dignitaries for their gracious presence, and we now request everyone to be seated for the show.
होता है रे होता है